On this episode of Talkin' About Rock, Steve Gordon and Ray West.
All right, today's guest is a veteran musician. He's played guitar on dozens of gold and platinum records across multiple genres, as well as being a producer and a Grammy-nominated engineer. Joining us now, let's welcome Steve Gordon and Ray West here to Talking About Rock. Hey guys, how are you?
Great, it's a pleasure to be here with you, man.
Thank you guys for joining us so much, definitely. So let's start with you, Steve. Let's talk a little bit about this latest project. So you're getting a lot of well-known singers from the heavy metal music spectrum for this new project, MIA, coming out in December.
Probably the second week of January.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about that. And I guess Broken, with Ray on it here singing is number 6 added metal track on radio. That's fabulous, man.
Yeah, it's the number 6 most added of the week that it came out, which was, I think, 2 weeks ago. And right now it's number 31.
Excellent. So Ray, tell us a little bit about getting together on this project with Steve here in these tracks.
I've known Steve a while, so we originally met a couple decades ago through a mutual friend, a great musician named Miguel Gonzalez, and he actually produced some stuff for us. And then since then, a great friendship just developed, and we just always been wanting to work together. And Steve's always he's always doing something. So when he offered to have me sing some tracks, I was like, without a doubt, man. So it's a budding friendship. He's like a brother to me, so I'll do anything for him.
Very cool. Yeah. And Steve, your instrumental single Pharaoh Lives has gained a lot of radio charting here, entering at number 8 in Germany's instrumental rock charts. Also, man, that's outstanding.
Yeah, I actually wasn't expecting that when I put that out. That's the first thing that I put out. And just so you know, I did all this for fun. I wasn't on a mission to get on any charts, or I really just did it for fun. Basically, if any of my friends said, "Hey, you got anything that you've recorded that I can hear?" Yeah, go on Apple Music or Spotify. I got a few things. So, and then it's basically I basically spent a little money on promoting it myself through CD Baby. So it kind of went viral in Europe, and all of these rock journalists are started writing articles about me, and so yeah, I would get them and I read them, and it's like they're looking at me like I'm this new guitar god, and I'm freaking out, going I just did this for fun. I wasn't expecting any of this, and then in South America the same thing. So what I did was how I got to where I am now is I kind of did some research, and I wanted to find a radio promotion guy. So I kind of tried to find the top 5 in America that do hard rock, metal, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, kind of instrumental stuff, Tony McAlpine, and I got hooked up with this company, Skateboard, and the reason that you heard We Go to War and Broken is because Munzie, the president of the company, our radio guy, said, "Do you have any songs?" And and I didn't know if I really did, because no, I did, but with Ray I had, but I forgot about it because we hadn't really did anything for a year, because Ray started going back out on the road with Spread Eagle. So it clicked in my head. He says, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, I got something." And I remember I had about 4 of them, and We Go to War was the closest thing to being mixed, but I actually remixed it again for the real record. So he said, "Let me hear what you got." And so I sent it to him, and he calls me back and he goes, "Dude," and then his New York accent, "Dude."
Yeah, that's how we talk around here.
"Dude, I love this. Who's singing?" I said, that's Ray West from Spread Eagle.
Yeah, Ray sounds fabulous on here.
No,
Definitely,
but
man.
this is the clincher. He goes, dude, I know Ray 20, 30 years. We're great friends. And I go, you kidding me?
It's like 6 degrees of Muncie, man. Everybody
Yeah,
knows Muncie.
yeah. So then Muncie hooked me up with, I got hooked up with Maria, Metal Maria from Adrenaline. Then I got hooked up with Michael Brandvold, and he does the social media. So I mean, like, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm doing, this is still fun for me. I
Right.
mean, I wasn't on a mission to like do anything, because I mix records, and I even gig locally. I play guitar on records. Email me your part. I do sessions. So I wasn't on a mission to like do anything like bigger than I was doing, but it just happened.
Right. We were talking to Ray a little bit here before that. Ray was saying, yeah, it kind of morphed from a different project, what kind of started out originally, right, Ray?
Yeah, because we were going to write some tunes we had created something called Magnificent Beast. That's what it is. And we got some great cats together, and we started doing some writing, but it never came to fruition just because of people's time constraints and other activities. So I think Stevie just was like, well, I'm going to make something happen. So that's what he did. So don't let him fool you. He's driven. He's driven.
Well, Ray, I asked Ray. I said, "Is it okay if I use?" I wanted his permission, because I said, what, when Muncie said, "You got any songs?" and he said, "Let's put." The plan was to put out "Pharaoh Lives," the instrumental, and "We Go to War" out at the same time. And I said, "Well, why do you want to do that?" And he goes, "Because you'll get a further reach." He goes, the instrumental rock thing is all good and fine, but you'll reach more people when you have a song that somebody's singing on. So I called Ray, and I called Tommy, and I called Miguel, and I said, "Are you guys okay if I put this out under Steve Gordon MIA featuring Ray West?" And everybody said, "Oh, yeah, do it. Let's go, do it." And so that's how that happened.
Yeah, definitely cool. And you've got some other folks that are going to be coming down here. Can you share with us some of the other featured artists that you're going to have on this project?
I kind of want to make it a surprise.
Okay, you want to keep it under wraps?
Yeah. All right. Actually, there's about three other guys
That'll be coming out with different tracks. You'll be dropping some stuff.
Yeah, there might be four. And I still got another one I'm going to put out with Ray. So Ray is going to be on probably 3 on the album. And then each other guy I'll be singing on one, and then my instrumentals.
Yeah, all right, definitely. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about your history, Steve. So through the 80s and 90s, you became a highly sought after ghost session guitarist. Record executives would tap you for coming in and maybe doing some crucial changes to elevate some tracks or repair some guitar parts on there, and they started calling you the secret weapon. This kind of thing really wasn't known back in the day, right? It was kind of like the forefront artists. Those are the folks that were advertised as doing their parts. This is something that's kind of just come to light in the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, how that began was the very first one was Doc McGee called me, and the producer Barry Mraz. Doc McGee was managing Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, Scorpions, probably like 5 other bands that I don't know. But so actually Doc was living in Miami, and Doc was managing Barry Mraz, who is a great friend of mine, producer. Barry was the producer of the first 2 Styx albums, and Barry was the producer of Benny Mardones, the song Into the Night, the New York Dolls, I think is that David Johansen or something. Is that the singer's name? Something like that. The first 2 Ohio players. So I get a call from Doc and Barry, and they said, "We got a recording session for you tomorrow, 7 p.m. North Miami International Sound Recording Studios. Bring a Marshall amp and bring a guitar that has humbucking pickups like a Les Paul or an SG or a Super Strat or something." And I said to Doc and Barry, "Well, what am I playing on?" And they go, "We can't tell you until tomorrow." So I get there, set up, about an hour. I set up at 6. Barry walks in, sits down. Doc wasn't there. I said, what am I playing on? And he goes, you're playing on a Bon Jovi record. And I go, I started laughing and go, why? Richie Sambora is great. Why do I
Right.
have to play?
Right.
He goes, well, John wrote a song for Farm Aid called Heart of America. And they went to Wisconsin to do Farm Aid, and they performed it in front of like 40, 50, 60,000 people. And the plan was that the day after, when they woke up, we were all going to go to a real recording studio in Wisconsin and record it. And Barry was going to be the producer and the engineer of the record. So Barry went, they recorded, and after it was all said and done, everybody seemed to not be happy with the guitar parts. So I said, well, what happened? He said, I don't know. Maybe he was trashed. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he was jet lagged. Maybe he was depressed. But the guitars weren't the normal what he does. And he's great.
Right.
We need you to do it as soon as possible. So that's what I did. I said, all right, roll the tape. I played my parts. I said, should I copy him exactly? He goes, no, you could play your own guitar solo, but copy, the power chord, the left-right power chords, pretty much the same. So I did. And he said, make it like if you were Richie and you were playing on your band's record. So I did that. They overnighted it to Doc. Doc approved. I got paid really good. And then I remember in the last 10 minutes of it, when I was about to walk out, Barry says to me, I have to tell you one thing that's very important. I go, what? He goes, your name is not going on the record.
Was that the first time that something like that had happened?
Yes, that's the very first time. And I said, I'm okay with that. And that's how it started. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know how word gets out about that. But actually, even before that, I was doing stuff. Actually, before that, I did some stuff. But my name was getting on it. Like I made a lot of friends with engineers at Criteria Recording Studios in North Miami. And I remember Alex Satkin. He was actually, Alex Satkin produced Foreigner 4, Culture Club, Simply Red. Alex moved to the Bahamas to work at Compass Point Studios and did all those European bands. He produced Duran Duran. I mean, the list goes on and on. So before that happened, before he went to the Bahamas, he would call me and like say, like this happened at least 30 times. Steve, come to Criteria at midnight. I got a song for you to play on. And so that it happened before the Doc McGee thing. So I'd get there and I'd say, well, what am I playing on? He goes, well, this is a band that I'm producing. They got a record deal. They're actually doing well. I don't want to fly the guitar player in from London and pay his way to redo his parts. So you're going to do them.
Right.
So I did a lot of that. I mean, like hundreds. I mean, I did that on Phil Collins records. I did that on Rod Stewart. I did that on, I mean, the list goes on and on.
Did you ever get any feedback from the original players on there commenting on what you did on it at all in any way?
Oh,
I mean,
no.
We don't have to say names, but obviously, did you ever get any feedback saying, "Oh, I like what you did," or "Thanks for cleaning that up"? Or
but this is the funny thing. Like all these sessions that I did, there was never a singer on the record. Like the vocals were basically on last. I mean, there was a few that had like. I mean, maybe they were demos and someone else wrote them and like maybe Rod Stewart was going to record it from the writer. I don't know, but I never heard like the real artist. And I actually found out I was on these records when I got royalties because it said the song and who the artist was. So that's when I knew. So I'm driving around in my car for listening to songs that I'm playing on, but I don't know that I'm on them.
Oh man. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I'm so glad you got hooked up with Ray here because he's sounding great on these tracks, and they're definitely doing.
Ray's a little monster.
Yeah, they're doing really great for you with these two different songs you got out here. So definitely Definitely very, very cool. We got Broken out, which is doing great. Way Go to War. Ray, so what else is going on with you? Anything happening in the Spread Eagle camp with you guys?
Oh, we're just working on the new album, and hopefully it'll be out next April. Hoping it gets out next year because we have the Monsters of Rock cruise. So I'd like to have it all together. Because one thing in this business is you need to have optics. If you're not doing something, people don't know you exist or that you're doing anything. So we're just doing our best to keep out there and keep grinding. We've been grinding with our new guitar player Johnny for the past 3 years. So ever since we got him, things have been great. We got the Monsters of Rock in 2024. A band like ours that didn't get much MTV rotation, it's a heavy climb. It's a very Herculean task to get in front of people. So we play when and wherever we can, and we just got to keep creating and evolving because I think people just want new music from this band. So we just keep pushing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I
You
have
guys didn't really get a lot of play, like you were saying. I think Switchblade Serenade hit pretty good for you, but like you said, you got to keep the momentum going, right?
Yeah, I mean, the day was going to go to TV rotation. We got the call from MCA that there was all kinds of they weren't releasing the video. It was really a bad day. So it was just we had to take what we can, scraps and whatever. So we just have been surviving it, and by playing the music, even going to the UK and Europe and all that. Finally, getting a chance to go over there. It's cool to see people that had this music in their in their brains and their noggins, and now they're connecting with it. So it's really cool to see that it wasn't for naught. You know what I mean? So it makes it very nice and it validates some things. And it's a good live band. So, and then
Yeah,
I'm also
definitely.
doing, the other thing I was doing was Superfly, which I was doing some tunes, which I would have loved to have, some of the songs Steve and I were working on, I wanted for the Superfly album. So, it all fits. It's the same kind of genre. It's cool. And it's some of my favorite music, and working with Steve has been a joy.
Yeah, we always like to see, new music and new projects coming out from all these bands. Obviously, fans grew up listening to all through the 80s, all these different songs. Maybe all of them didn't hit or get their time, but it's great to see all that come back and all those new songs coming out, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, anybody who had any kind of like play, a minute in the eye back in the day is out touring and trying to make things happen. Everybody's in a band. You know what I mean? It's that kind of world we live in. People are doing AI, so we're just trying to do a great live thing. So the way with Spread Eagles, when you're in the room, that's the vibe. That's how it works.
Yeah, very, very cool. I know Monsters of Rock things are definitely always amazing. Very, very cool stuff going on there.
Yeah,
Excellent.
man. I
Excellent.
had no idea they were so cool. I always used to crap on that thing. Oh, the cruise, fuck that shit. A bunch of fogies just walking around. And then I got
No,
to experience.
it's really, really grown. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and I got to experience it myself in 2024. I was like, oh man, this is like paradise on earth. This is cool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely very, very cool. All right. All right. So, Steve, so what else do we have going forward from you? What are the next plans for the project here for MIA? Some more tracks dropping, I guess, and what other stuff
No,
going on?
I mean, lately I've been like, I mean, I still have to play guitar on some of this stuff, which I haven't done, and I mix everything myself, so I have to do that. So I mean, I think I have pretty much on my plate. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. This doesn't happen in one day.
One song at a time, brother. One song at a time.
Yeah, I mean, and even when when I mix for other people, It's usually I'm finished in like 5 to 8 hours. But like when I started mixing myself, not knowing that like, oh God, like this is now like me featuring Ray or featuring someone else or
Right. You're front and center on this now, right? Yeah.
yeah. So like I started freaking out a little bit and going. So like instead of like now mixing for like 5 or 8 hours, what I do is because I have a studio in my house, I leave it up overnight and then I come back to it. And then I'll fix some stuff, and then I'll even leave it up for a third day. And by the third day, if I love it by the third day, then I'm willing to print it and then take it down. But usually with other people, even like I mixed Morgan Wallen, the biggest country star in the world, 8 hours, and like that, and that was a pressure mix.
Right.
But like I feel more pressure with me.
Right, right. You want your stuff to be just so, and especially since you've done all this other. I mean, you nominated for a Grammy engineering Betty Wright and the Roots single "Surrender." So
Yeah.
no pressure.
Yeah, let me add. I think Steve's right because when you're like looking out into the world, that things are easy. When you're in the mirror, you everything's up close and the details, and it's a different way of looking at things. So it's a painstaking thing for Steve, and I know what it's like because if I was producing my own vocal, I'd be a pain in the ass for hours. Now I would have them edit the word H, the letter H and the word the. I'd be a pain in the ass. So I know what he goes through. It's a lot.
Right.
So you know it is. I mean, I have to live with this for the rest of my life. So, I have this motto: don't make any mistakes. I'm at that age where it's like I don't want to f up. Like, so I mix. I mean, like I'm happy with all the mixes that I do for other people, but like the pressure feels like 5 times bigger. That like it's going to say Steve Gordon MIA, and it's not going to say Rod Stewart. It's not going to say Morgan Wallen. It's not it's not going to say somebody else. It's going to say me. And I'm going. I mean, if I put this out. And like a month from now, I go, holy shit, I messed up. But that guitar solo, I can't even hear it. I would kill myself.
Well, you're definitely doing it right so far. Obviously, you're already charting with these songs. And I think it's a great thing to like maybe set it aside for a day, listen to it with a fresh set of ears or whatever you want to call it. 3 days.
Now it's 3 days.
All right. Well, definitely great stuff. So the new album MIA from Steve Gordon featuring Ray West on the tracks here will be out in January, correct?
Yeah, like around, I'm guessing second week of January.
All right. Very cool. All right. Well, that wraps up this episode of Talking About Rock. Thanks to my guests today, Steve Gordon and Ray West from Steve Gordon MIA. And to our listeners, we hope you're keeping the torch alive and supporting live music wherever you are. Guys, again, thank you.
Later, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.